unseasonably frigid outside, but bursting with action here in New York City. 33rd and 7th, Madison Square Garden. Big game tonight for the New York Knicks, trying to get back on track. They've lost 5 of the last 8 contests. The Atlanta Hawks, meanwhile, come in winners in their last 3 games. Carmelo Anthony and the New York Knicks 4-4, John Barry, on the second night of a back-to-back as we take a look at the starting lineups. First of all, for Atlanta, good news for them. Devin Harris back in the starting lineup. They just got him back. He's been fighting injuries for most of the season, making just his 15th start. Teague, Korver, Josh Smith, and Al Horford up front for Atlanta, who comes in at 25-18. Meanwhile, for the New York Knicks, 26-15 coming in. This is their 14th different starting lineup. But the thing to note, Raymond Felton is back, playing in just his 2nd game since returning from a broken right pinky finger that he suffered on Christmas Day. He missed 12 games for New York. They went 6-6 during that time. JB, what exactly does Ray Felton give to this team in the big picture?
Well, besides 16 points, about 5 boards and 7 assists, your quarterback. I mean, it's very difficult to lose that. Jason Kidd put in a position where he had to play just too many minutes. I asked Jason tonight before the game, how you feel? He said, oh, I feel great. About 38 years old. Great. But tonight we're going to see Atlanta go with the speed lineup. Jeff Teague, Devin Harris in the backcourt, a smaller backcourt. Expect to see some posts up at times for the Knicks. But the speed lineup to get out on the break, get some easy opportunities for the Hawks.
New York, it's been well documented, a team that is the oldest team in the NBA. Of course, the second night of a back-to-back, their energy always one of the questions that's going to come up. Atlanta had the night off after coming off of a really compelling, riveting 27-point comeback 2 nights ago at home against the Boston Celtics. Larry Drew saying that could be one of the more definitive and tipping points for them in this big regular season picture. And we are underway. Atlanta with possession. There's Harris on the wing. Shumpert guarding the taller Al Horford. Instead of going at him on the mismatch, JB, what do you think?
Exactly, and that's the area I think Horford needs to improve. Back to the basket game. He's a terrific pick and pop guy, but there, with Shumpert on him, you're right. You got to take advantage of that and take him to the basket.
Here's Felton out top. He hoists the first jumper, which is good for the New York Knicks. Mike Woodson, the head coach, telling us prior to the game in our meeting that Felton is not on any kind of minute limitation coming off of that injury. Inside to Josh Smith, working against the shorter Shumpert. Good ball movement by Atlanta, and Teague knocks down the corner 3.
Teague, a much improved 3-point shooter. Not a lot of people know about this guy. I mean, 37.5% coming in. Terrific jet speed, but a guy that's learning how to run a club and doing a fine job of it.
There's Anthony out top. This is one of the great matchups in this game. Anthony against Smith at the forward position. Felton on the baseline. 2 on the shot clock. Felton's got a jack one. And he knocks down his 2nd field goal attempt. Ray Felton, one of the top candidates, you think, JB, for most improved player this year. What do you think?
Certainly, he had a very difficult season in Portland last year and 2 years ago. Didn't work out well here in New York. But I credit Jason Kidd for a lot of it. You play alongside a Jason Kidd, he makes the game so much easier for you. And Raymond Felton will be the first guy to tell you that Jason Kidd has done a lot for his game.
Felton out top. A little bit of a heat check. Why not? Wow.
Usually that's Carmelo Anthony that we see coming out, one of the best first quarter scorers we have in the league, but 3 in a row for Mr. Felton.
This in the wake of struggling last night, just 8 points and 2 of 8 from the field for Ray Felton. Good defense there, breaks it up, and that's going to be a foul against the Atlanta Hawks. Well, New York off to a good start, and usually one of the main reasons why is because of Carmelo Anthony. Leader in the league in first quarter scoring, over 9 a game.
Pretty decent names on that list.
Carmelo missing everything that time. He really struggled last night. You talked about it. Top of the show, just 9 for 28 from the field.
26 shots a night in the month of January. This guy was shooting about 48% early in the season. It's dwindling down. He's down to 45. He was shooting a 3-ball great. He's down to around 40 now. So they're going to need him to regain his form.
Horford
playing well.
Horford missing the runner. Horford working against Chandler. A little bit of contact. Horford wanted the call, didn't get it.
Now, that was more than a little bit of contact. That was a clothesline. And still with the great strength to be able to finish. Now, Horford's so good when he faces up and uses his athleticism to get by the bigger Tyson Chandler.
Shumpert still looking to get his timing back on the court, turns it over. Smith out to Teague for another three, and he has his second three of the game. Atlanta with a 2-point lead. Now, JB, I ask you, New York leads the league, almost 29 three-point attempts per game. Carmelo taking a lot of them. When he's cold, is it still a good thing that he shoots that much?
No, I don't like the 3-ball as much as they shoot it. Yes, for the first couple months of the season, it worked out for him, but Shumpert knocks in the left-handed layup. But when you go cold from that 3-point line, not just you don't score, but those long shots lead to long rebounds, which leads to easy transition opportunities for teams, and it's a tough way to be consistent offensively, and that's exactly where they've been struggling. We mentioned 6 of 8 since Christmas. Their offensive numbers have been dreadful.
That time Felton with the miss. Only one team has won the NBA championship when leading the league in threes attempted. That was the Houston Rockets when they went back-to-back, as Teague is feeling. And of course, those Houston Rockets had a guy named Akeem in the
right,
middle.
they played inside out, and that's not what the New York Knicks do. Maybe with Amari Stoudemire, they're going to try to establish him in the post, which they have done since he's returned. And maybe we see him playing alongside Carmelo and Tyson Chandler, playing a more conventional lineup.
Cross-court, good ball movement. Shumpert from downtown. Iman Shumpert knocks down the three.
As I said, this 3-point shooting, you shouldn't do it, Mark. Well, that's a good three there. Second swing off a double team. There's no problem with that. And Shumpert, a guy, if he starts knocking that down, along with his defensive capabilities, he's going to turn himself into a heck of a player if he can travel.
That's going to be a traveling violation against Jeff Teague, third-year player out of Wake Forest University. Shumpert, though, finding the mark early.
Now, that's a good swing there by Raymond Felton. He has Kidd in the corner. Teague stays in the middle. He shoots it with confidence and knocks it in.
Chandler over to Carmelo Anthony. A tough contested shot. Comes up short again.
This is a lot of jump shots for the Knicks. One of the lowest scoring teams for teams scoring in the paint. Third worst in the NBA. It's not a team that posts up. It's a jump shooting team, and J.R. Smith's going to check in, and we're going to see a lot more jump shots, and frequently.
Good post up by Horford, but Shumpert with good defense to strip it away. Anthony on the move. Lost the handle, but was fouled by Korver. So Carmelo Anthony will go to the free throw line. Fouls against Teague, actually. Carmelo Anthony, a 82% free throw shooter on the season. And as you alluded to a little bit earlier, a MVP candidate, especially in the first 2 months of the regular season.
And then for some reason he didn't eat for a while.
We'll talk about that fast in a second. Let's take a look at the big board NBA TV schedule for you. Monday on NBA TV, Orlando's at Brooklyn, then Wednesday on ESPN, Miami at Brooklyn, followed by the Lakers at Phoenix. Thursday on TNT, it's Memphis at OKC, followed by Dallas at Golden State. For more on these games, please log on to NBA.com. Now back to Melo with this eating situation.
A few weeks ago, he came out and said that, well, I've been struggling because I've been fasting. I just asked him before the game, I go, what are you doing not eating? He goes, I have no idea. I don't know what I was thinking.
Looking for an edge of some sort. I know that back in the summer, he went on a no-carb kick for a couple of weeks. That seemed to help his conditioning, he said. Chandler denying the shot at the bucket. Anthony in transition. Those are the easy ones usually. And Anthony missing another 3-ball. Smith on the move. And Smith with a soft touch. Josh Smith, one of just 2 players in the NBA that averages over 16 points a game, over 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. The other guy, LeBron James.
So why isn't he in the game? In the big game in Houston?
Great question. We'll talk about that as the show goes on. A lot of theories as to why. But Ray Felton's out of the gate quickly for the New York Knicks, playing in just his second game back from a pinky injury. Tell you what, that finger's feeling pretty good right now. Jeff Teague with a hot hand as well, with a couple of threes and a nice floater. Back with more on the other side. Hey, for the Atlanta Hawks, they trail by 1 just past the midway point of the first quarter. And Larry Drew talks about, JB, his development as a player, and Devin Harris having a positive effect on the way he's playing this year.
Well, much like Jason Kidd with Raymond Felton, you take the pressure off someone, another guy that can handle the basketball. Now Teague can play off the basketball a little bit. He's shown the ability to make shots, particularly from the three-point line, and you see the improvement. 3 to 5 to 12 to 13, 4 and 7 assists. A lot of people don't know about this guy, but he's continues to improve like this with his speed. He's an athletic guy. He could get to the rim and finish. An excellent player who you have to tip your cap that gets better each year.
Larry Drew saying the last component, of course, of leadership, him becoming a little bit more vocal. Right now, his play doing all the talking for him. He actually had 8 of their first 10 points.
Now here's Stoudemire along with Chandler and Anthony. Haven't seen this lineup a lot. Let's see what the Knicks do offensively.
Up 1 with this lineup. J.R. Smith has been in a horrendous shooting slump. He is now 3 of his last 25 from the field, JB, but I get the feeling it's not going to slow him down from shooting.
I know that's one thing we will see with the Knicks. As long as J.R. is on the floor, he will take shots. As the other night in Boston, he's 2 for 15 and knocks down the game-winning 3 with under a minute to go to finish the night at 3 for 16. Not afraid to take big shots. You know what? He reminds me a lot of John Starks, who played a lot of years here, who could get hot, but you remember in the finals when he went, what, 2 for 19 in one of those games where he can shoot you in a game, and he can also shoot you out of a game.
Teague steps back over Felton, rebounded by Carmelo Anthony.
All right, he's improved, but you know, step back threes for Teague at this point, not just yet.
Felton, nice feed inside, the kick out to Stoudemire. Amar'e Stoudemire had his most productive night of the season since coming back from injury around Christmas time. He had 20 points last night, albeit in that loss in Philadelphia.
I found it interesting as we sat with Coach Woodson prior to the game, saying that he doesn't think Amar'e Stoudemire will be an over 30-minute player for the rest of his career. As we see great ball movement here, Raymond Felton finding Chandler, unselfish play, kicks it out to the open Amar'e, who we know can knock down that jump shot. But he doesn't believe that Amar'e will be an over 30-minute a game type player for the rest of his career. I thought that was interesting.
The fact that Amar'e has had microfracture knee surgery, had a couple of surgical procedures. Teague with a nice scoop move past Tyson Chandler, and he's got 10.
Very impressive.
There's Teague with a younger brother, a member of the Chicago Bulls, also plays the guard spot.
Interesting here. That's a travel. Yeah, they're going to go post up Carmelo Anthony. You have Tyson Chandler, Amar'e Stoudemire, and yet you go to your 3-man for the post up is Jeff Teague, who continues to impress with a beautiful finish.
This is an Atlanta roster. The big picture, general manager Danny Ferry in his first year on the job, moving a lot of the pieces around. Smith from outside, missing everything, and Horford gets one of those room service rebounds. Look what I found.
Speaking of room service, I was going to say maybe Danny Ferry, we should call him the maid, because he's cleaning up, because they have 3 players under contract going into next season. It's going to be a awfully different look for this Atlanta Hawk team next year.
Estimated to have around $35 million of cap room. They might want to think about keeping Kyle Korver around. He made 8 threes in that 27-point comeback against the Celtics at home a couple of nights ago. Felton from downtown.
I guess we'll give him a pass for last night since it was his first game back after missing 12. Feeling awfully comfortable tonight.
JB, as a player, you've been out for a month. How tough is it to come back and find your rhythm? How long does it take?
It takes time. I mean, certainly if you're going to get extended minutes, it's a great pass there by Josh Smith. It does just take your time.
Is it harder as a point guard?
Certainly. You know, and the speed of the game, if you do get a couple practices in where you're playing against guys, maybe 3-on-3, a little bit of 5-on-5, it just can't take the place of actual game time, and we're seeing Felton feeling much more comfortable tonight, obviously.
Great battle at the forward spot between Carmelo and Josh Smith. That time Smith winning the battle. Carmelo struggling from the field here in the early going. 0 for 4. And Horford goes careening into the front row.
hate to see a player push a guy in the back when he's up in the air behind. I don't think Amari meant to hurt him, but that's a very, very dangerous play.
Foul against Stoudemire. One more look at it, especially when that player is airborne. JB, I thought the key phrase in there was some nights you never get the ball.
Some nights.
Talks about the selflessness of Tyson Chandler. Of course, he is their defensive anchor, right?
Oh, he's terrific. And I like that he gets rewarded, yeah, because you don't look at his numbers and say, wow, 12 points, 11 boards, whatever it might be. But he is the key to this team. I mean, he's come over. He's brought a totally different attitude, particularly on the defensive end. He was a huge part of a Dallas Maverick team that won an NBA championship. And a lot of the things, like he said, do go unnoticed, but not by his teammates. He's a guy that you love to have on your team, and every team would love to have a guy like Tyson Chandler.
Chandler, Kidd, and Rasheed Wallace, the only members of the Knicks with championship rings. Woodson actually wants Chandler to bring his ring in to show it to the guys, but Chandler a little reluctant to do so. Teague cooling off a little bit. Stoudemire with the carry.
Now, Mike Woodson not happy with J.R. Smith, saying you've got to go over to Jeff Teague to close out. Nobody came out to him. There's a nice double team pass by Josh Smith. Teague's made a couple threes. You got to get out there and contest that.
Smith rips through and is fouled by John Jenkins, the rookie out of Vanderbilt. As Ivan Johnson gets set to check into the ball game for Larry Drew. Larry Drew, a member of Mike Woodson's staff in the Atlanta Hawks for several years. He had a great response when we asked him about beating his former boss. Hey, he's got to win. Got to get it.
I don't care who it is. I want to win.
That's where they are. Whistle out of bounds, and it'll be coming back the other way.
Offensive foul, Felton there. Legal screen.
That's his first personal. One more look at it.
Oh, yeah, good call. Well, it looks like, yeah, he might have got pushed in. Felton might have got shoved there.
Harold Pargo also in the ball game for the Atlanta Hawks. Signed a couple of 10-day contracts. Johnson on the drive. And he turns it over, goes right back to him. Not the way they drew it up, but they'll take it.
Very fortunate. I don't know that I'd want to cross Ivan Johnson. I just would. Don't look at him funny. He's a big boy. How about his story? I mean, it comes out of nowhere. He had a terrific season for them last year.
Gives them a lot of energy and toughness on the boards. Here's Smith inside to Stoudemire. Faces up against Johnson. Well, he paid $50,000 this summer to work with Akeem Olajuwon. There's the result.
He had to pay 50 to Akeem?
Yeah.
Akeem wanted money?
Amari Stoudemire.
He gave him 50 grand?
50K. Wow.
I didn't know he had to pay.
That was the fee.
I thought that was free advice. LeBron didn't have to pay, did he?
Him and JaVale McGee. And
no, well, I'm just to say this. That looked really, really comfortable. I mean, to have him, he's not used to playing with the back to the basket. He never did it in Phoenix.
That time facing the basket, committing the offensive foul. But since Stoudemire and Chandler and Melo were on the front line, New York was leading by 1. Right now, the Hawks lead by 3.
Yeah, well, that's the lineup that Mike Woodson wants to get to, and it's a work in progress because we've never seen it, and they've never played together very often. And
nice feed inside by Zaza Pachulia to Johnson.
Very fortunate. That could be a play Atlanta throws into their new playbook. They didn't mean to do it. Ivan Johnson cuts to the basket. Josh Smith throws it behind him. Pachulia finds it, and there's Ivan for the easy dunk.
Pablo Prigioni in the ball game for the New York Knicks. Atlanta leading by 5. Hawks in the midst of a 9-2 run. Prigioni, the member of the Argentina national team. Anthony with his first field goal of the game, a 3-ball. He leads the NBA in first quarter scoring, but well below that 9-point pace right now.
A great look there for our Prigioni going away, finding Carmelo at the 3-point line.
Smith with the steal. And he's fouled by Pargo. Will it be a clear path? Didn't quite look like it.
No, I think he got in front. That's going to be side out. Good foul there by Pargo. I look like he clearly got in front.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they do go clear path here.
We're talking about it. That was the first foul in the last 2 minutes. They're going to have a look at the video monitor to see whether it was or not.
Well, now in clear path means you have to be in front of the basketball to foul, and I think clearly he was in front of the ball. Now they're calling clear path, but they're going to go take a look. Where are you on this? I'm thinking that was not a clear path.
I didn't think
foul.
it was.
I think Pargo understood the rule. He waited until he got in front. He could have reached out, but he didn't. He got out in front, and I don't think that was a clear path foul.
Call on the floor was that it was, as you said, a clear path. One more look at it. And Pargo looked like he got in front of him.
I thought so.
Yeah.
I think that's just a side out, and it's a good foul.
Well, either way, the Knicks are going to need J.R. Smith to get back in some type of offensive groove. Mired in a shooting slump.
Wow. It's just like when I watch football games. I never get one right. It seems so obvious to me, and yet they go the other way. So my apologies. I do know the Niners will win the Super Bowl.
Oh, thanks. I was wondering who you're going to pick.
I know that. we know that.
Smith at the free throw line. J.R. Smith, a 80% free throw shooter on the season. Finally sees one go through the hoop, and a confounded Larry Drew.
Yeah, he should be. And Pargo, I know Pargo knew the rule. He waited. He could have simply reached out and grabbed him had he wanted to, but he got past him and reached in with his right hand instead of his left hand, which would have certainly put him behind the basketball. I thought he fouled him with his right. I don't think that was the right call.
Smith makes both free throws. J.R. Smith got off to a great start earlier this season. And right now, as we mentioned, in a little bit of a shooting slump. He started his year off by having a good sit down with head coach Mike Woodson, and Woodson talked to him about professionalism, and J.R. admitted that he was going to lay off some of the social scene and some of the night scene here that is so alluring in New York City.
He agreed to not go out nights before games. That's great. Well, at the end of November, he was at 47% from the three-point line. He knocks one down.
Oh, a streaky shooter on cue.
How about 47%? And now he's about 30 from the three-point line. It's been a free ball. I think a lot of it has been his shot selection. I thought he was very under control early in the season, taking good shots. Carmelo's been out of games, and he's taken the liberty of taking too many shots, and he's got to get back to playing a little bit more solid basketball.
Pablo Prigioni, the sage veteran, understanding the NBA rules. First foul to give. They had one to give. 4.9 to go in the first quarter. Ron Brewer checking into the game. Carmelo will get the rest at the end of the quarter. Two-point New York lead. New York loses in 5 of the last 8. Pachulia. A little bit of contact. Pachulia couldn't draw the call, and New York sprints to the finish line at the end of the first quarter on a 7-0 run in the last 45 seconds. Great battle between a couple of point guards to start this one off. Jeff Teague got out of the gate quickly with a couple of threes. He had 10 in the period, but Felton showing that he's back after missing almost a month.
Welcome back to New York. Knicks ahead by 2. I'm here with Coach Larry Drew. Offensively, you got it clicking, especially Jeff Teague. He's on pace to score 40. Is this a matchup you felt he could exploit, or is that just kind of occurred?
Well, we're just going to try to take advantage as much as we can of our pick and rolls. I mean, Jeff is one of the best in the league at it. He did a good job in exploiting it the first quarter. We got to do a better job defensive second quarter. We had too many defensive breakdowns.
You did a good job on Carmelo Anthony, though. He leads the league in first quarter scoring. You held him to about 1 of 5 shooting. What's the key to slowing him down?
Well, Josh has done a good job on it. We've been in a good position where we can help him out. We know Carmelo's going to get a lot of touches, so we just have to continue to do a good job on it.
Thanks, Larry. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Chris. Knicks bench in the ball game now, with the exception of Chandler, as Prigioni knocks down the 3. Pablo Prigioni, one of the older rookies in the NBA, well into his 30s. A member of the gold medal winning team that won back in Greece back in 2004 for Argentina.
And that's something you rarely see. A pull-up 3 off the dribble for Prigioni. He stands still, shooting decent number, 37%, but off the dribble, I thought Atlanta did a nice job there. You make that shot, you have to tip your cap and go down the other end.
Mike Woodson has implored Prigioni to be a little bit more aggressive offensively, JB, but he's more of a setup guy, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's always a pass-first guy, but I love having a 35-year-old rookie. I mean, the guy's played professional basketball, like you said. He's coming over. He understands the professional game, what it takes to be a pro. And I think he's had some great moments for this team.
Giving great relief to Jason Kidd when he was out with his back injury, and Felton as well when he was out recently with that broken finger. There's Thomas. Smith on the move. Takes Pachulia to the bucket and is fouled. J.R. Smith, active, will go back to the free throw line.
That's a nice job when he got in there to make sure he got the contact. Instead of going up with his left hand away from the rim, which Pachulia could have got his hands on, he went back underneath and got the contact from Pachulia and gets himself to the free throw line.
Smith, an 80% foul shooter. A key component of the New York Knicks bench, offensively at least. Well, Big Monday has a primetime double dip on ESPN at 7. It's Pitt taking on Louisville. Then at 9, Ben McLemore and the Kansas Jayhawks take on West Virginia. Big Monday presented by Bud Light. Pitt, Louisville at 7, then Kansas, West Virginia at 9. Monday on ESPN and on Watch ESPN. And folks, if you haven't seen Ben McLemore, you might want to tune in to that Kansas game. He could be the #1 pick next year.
I heard
in the
there
NBA.
was talk. Yeah, I heard that. I saw him in Atlanta in that early preseason deal. And, yeah, he's a special player.
Ivan Johnson turns it over. New York leading by 6. That was the 7th turnover by the Hawks.
Yeah, too many. And actually, the Knicks had 4 in the first quarter, which is a lot for them. And they take incredible care of the basketball. They have over 200 less turnovers than the Atlanta Hawks. 200.
Wow.
Amazing the way they take care of the basketball.
Right now in the middle of an 11-0 run. Smith double team. And Prigioni gives it right back to them.
Prigioni, you're killing me over here. I'm just singing the praises of how well you take care of the basketball.
One of the top guards in the ACB, which is known as the best league outside of the NBA in Spain, is Carmelo Anthony still on the bench. Good hustle though by Prigioni. It's interesting to speak with the international players when they come over here. Ask them what the biggest differences were. He said A, the speed of the NBA game, and B, all the games that we play. Yeah. Well, taxing, JP.
Yeah, well, it is, but these guys are pros, and when they come over here, this is all they have. I mean, imagine you go over and play overseas. For all the Americans that go over, you don't really know the culture. You don't know what's going on. You're there basically to practice and play. And over there, they spend a lot more time in practice. Maybe that's why they're a little more fundamentally sound than we find some of our players over here.
Prigioni doesn't hesitate and has his second 3. A 14-0 New York Knicks run, and Larry Drew wants to talk things over a little bit.
The 35-year-old rookie, Prigioni, getting it done for the Knicks.
Well, an NBA doubleheader on ESPN on Wednesday. LeBron James and the Heat hit Brooklyn. Jay-Z and the crew taking on Darren Williams and the Nets. And then at 10:30, Steve Nash returns to Phoenix as the Lakers take on the Suns. NBA Wednesday presented by State Farm. Heat, Nets at 8, then Lakers Suns at 10:30. JB, Rondo done for the season, out with an ACL. Do the Celtics make the playoffs right now in the 8-hole below 500?
Yes, I still think they'll make it. But obviously devastating news, losing the all-star point guard. What a terrific win today, hanging in there, not knowing. I'm sure they got news because the news came out during the ball game, but that's a tough one. I think he's been the most consistent and their best player.
Chandler on the roll, good 2-man game, and the dime from Prigioni. New York ties its longest run of the season, now 16-0. How does Atlanta get back on track offensively here?
Well, first of all, they turned it over a couple times, got some easy run-outs, but they're not moving the basketball, just standing still, keeping it on one side of the floor. This is a good possession here. Post up, swing, and you get a wide open shot.
Pachulia gives them another possession. Teague on the blow-by. Good kick out to Stevenson. And Deshaun Stevenson with the 3 ball. temporarily stopping the hemorrhaging.
Can't keep the basketball on one side of the floor. The Knicks, a good defensive team. Throughout their struggles here in the last 15 games or so, their defense has not struggled. They're giving up just 93 a game, which is better than they did the first 2 months. That's just too easy. Simple curl, no help on the weak side. No resistance from this Hawk team right now.
Tell you what, Carmelo Anthony's been at the scorers table trying to check into the ball game for a couple of minutes now, but his team has seen the lead increase to 10 points while he's been on the bench. Teague on the drive, fouled by Prigioni. As Smith, Horford, and Carmelo Anthony will check into the game along with Amari Stoudemire now. A foul against Prigioni, as I mentioned, his second personal foul.
Atlanta's going to have to get back into throwing the basketball inside. You're bringing in Horford and Smith. Those are your 2 best post-up players, really your 2 only post-up players. Got to get the ball inside, try to get some easy ones, create some double teams or mismatches, and then go ahead and take the jump shots.
Teague, an 86% free throw shooter. And folks, hey, you got to catch this series on NBA TV. It's called The Association. It returns. And watch all the new episodes every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern time on NBA TV. Real life TV or reality TV. They follow the Brooklyn Nets.
You watch all those things, don't you?
I like The Association.
Well, Real Housewives and all that.
No, I don't do that Kardashian thing either.
Kardashians. No. I can see it. NBA Wives on VH1 or whatever that is.
All over The Association, though. Foul against Teague, his second personal foul. New York started the game 7 of 14 from the field. They've gone 7 of 7 since. They continue to sizzle. Almost 67% on the game. And Smith showing signs of breaking out of his slump. Here's Teague in transition. Smith. Well, the flop wasn't called, if you want to call it a flop. And Smith gets the easy deuce.
Okay, so what happens with the league? They look at that and then they determine whether that's a flop or not? I mean, obviously the official didn't feel like the contact warranted a call. So somebody has to look at that and say that's a flop?
I think Mike Woodson's having a big discussion with Bill Spooner about that right now. Prigioni looking for his third 3. Boy, that one was from Staten Island. Out of bounds. It'll be Atlanta basketball. Let's take one more look.
Yeah, let's see if this was legitimate contact here. You know, I thought he had the right chicken wing out a little bit. Let's see what Woodson. I guess didn't feel like anything happened. It was okay. Well, here are the Hawks, right here, back down 4.
Right back in the ball game.
A little 9-2 run.
Anthony with a quick catch and shoot. That's what he does. Carmelo Anthony came back much more committed this year. So says his head coach, Mike Woodson, after winning that gold medal this past summer in London with some of the best players in the world.
Now, I think there's been a different sense of commitment for Carmelo Anthony. Yes, he's taking a ton of shots. He takes the most shots in the NBA, but making the effort on the defensive end, trying to be a leader and doing the right thing. And he's had his team, one of the hottest teams in the NBA in the early going.
Jeff Teague, a one-man press break up to Smith, who missed the easy one underneath. Actually not so easy. It was contested by Stoudemire. Smith. And he turns it over.
Okay, the curly kneel was good for a minute, and then the turnover.
Sean Stevenson and 1. So it cost the Knicks at the other end. Sean Stevenson will have a chance for the old-fashioned three-point play. The foul goes against Smith.
Great take there by Stevenson. Gets whacked across the top of the head. Not normally the guy that takes the ball to the basket. Become a spot-up three-point shooter.
Sean Stevenson has suffered through some knee issues this year, having a tough time actually playing on the second night of back-to-backs. Member of the Dallas Mavericks team that won the championship a couple of seasons ago. Remember, there's only 3 players under contract for these Atlanta Hawks next year. And one of the big questions is, what will they do with Jay Smooth? Josh Smith is an unrestricted free agent.
Said he feels like he deserves max money.
Anthony with the baseline jumper, no good. Rebounded by Stoudemire.
That's also an area of his game that he's improved. Much better rebounder. He's getting a lot done, playing about 20 minutes a night here in his comeback. Getting to the foul line, rebounding the basketball, becoming much more aggressive. And if he can establish himself as a low post presence that can rebound and get better on the defensive end, the Knicks just might be the team to come out of the East. Don't tell Miami.
The NBA on ESPN is presented all season long by State Farm. Brought to you by the Kia Optima, official vehicle of the NBA.
With Josh Smith, his name is in the rumor mill as far as being traded before the February 21st deadline. Smith's representatives will meet with Atlanta GM Danny Ferry this week to find out what their views are regarding him. Is he a building block for the future? Will they pay him big money this summer, or are they looking to move him before the deadline? The Hawks have to make that decision. Now, Atlanta has viewed Josh Smith, who's great friends with Dwight Howard, as an attraction who could bring Dwight to Atlanta in free agency this summer. But I'm told by strong sources that Dwight Howard is not even considering playing in Atlanta. That's his hometown. He doesn't want to go back there to play. So that's not the question. The question is, how much longer will Josh Smith be in a Hawks uniform?
Well, Chris, now, if you were Atlanta, what would you... I would think that I would say, if you can go out and find max money, which he thinks he is, then go right ahead, and then we'll make a decision whether that's what we have to pay you.
Yeah, he'll have trouble getting max money on the market. But look, they could run the risk of losing him for nothing in free agency. So it's a tough decision for Danny Ferry. I know Ferry really values his cap space, and he could hold that space over the next few years, because Chris Paul's not going to go to Atlanta. He's probably going to stay with the Clippers. Dwight Howard doesn't want to go there. And now you're talking about a tier downward when you look at the players who they could sign. Really, Josh Smith might be the next best available player after those 2 superstars.
Yeah, interesting perspective, Chris. And, you know, we've seen it over the years, JB, where sometimes teams have a load of cap space available and don't
Nobody
get the
to spend
guys
it
on.
on.
Dallas Mavericks recently.
Right. Dallas had nobody to spend it on. They decided to let Tyson Chandler go, and I would assume that Mark Cuban's ruining that decision, because they'd love to have Tyson Chandler right now. They'd love to have anybody down in Dallas the way they're struggling. But yeah, it's a tough decision. Like Chris said, I mean, who are you going to go spend it on if you don't spend it on Josh Smith? Not many guys out there to choose from.
Josh Smith was in the conversation for the Eastern Conference All-Star reserves. Teague on the drive.
Man,
you know, the way Teague is playing, he's playing like an all-star tonight.
Getting to the cup at will.
16 points for the 4th-year player out of Wake Forest.
Great speed, strength around the rim.
Rondo out for the season. Who do you think starts now, or who do they bring in now, as Anthony will be making the trip to Houston for the All-Star game?
It depends if they go point guard. That might be a good fast break there.
And Atlanta has tied the game up at 42.
I mean, I would think someone from the Brooklyn Nets should be on the team. I mean, they're 3rd in the conference. P.J. Carlesimo's done a great job since the firing of Avery Johnson. I would think one of those players warrants an all-star bid. Darren Williams not having his typical numbers, right. I understand that. But Brook Lopez, to me, has been one of the more consistent players in the NBA. His team wins when he's out there. They've struggled when he's been out of the lineup. I got to think somebody from the Nets gets in this in the All-Star game.
Yeah, nobody from Brooklyn was selected as a starter or as a reserve. Atlanta responding with a 17-6 run as Stoudemire misses the free throw, and some of the more notable snubs. Boy, Steph Curry might lead the pack there. Pierce.
Well, if this happened in the Western Conference, we know it would be Steph Curry, point guard position. But Ellis and Jennings, I mean, Milwaukee's still playing good basketball. Scott Skiles leaves. They're still over 500.
How much does shooting percentage work against Ellis and Jennings, shooting right around 40% on the season?
Yeah, you know, I don't know that that's a big deal. I mean, people were talking J.R. Smith being an all-star possibly here. He's under 40%, about 30% from the three-point line. He's getting 16 a game. second most off the bench in the NBA. But he's struggled the last couple weeks. And look, we're going to have the discussion every year. LeBron James tweeting the other day, we should put it to 15. Well, then the 16th and 17th guy.
You'll always have an argument.
Yeah, we're going to say there's something wrong with them. So, you know what? I don't mind 15. It's an exhibition game. Guys don't really want to play extended minutes in it anyway. I don't think 15 would be that much of a problem.
Carmelo Anthony off the miss. Of course, Anthony will be going along with his teammate Tyson Chandler to Houston for the All-Star game. Chandler telling us earlier that last year he was making plans to go to Anguilla for a vacation in the sun, out of bounds. It'll be Atlanta basketball, and the Hawks with a chance to take the lead. Chandler getting some rest on the bench. Under 3.5 to go here in the first half. The team shooting well above 50%. Out of bounds, it'll be Atlanta basketball. Ray Felton playing in just his second game back after fracturing that pinky finger on his shooting hand, his right hand. And off to a great start in this one tonight. Having a tough time containing Teague, though. Teague with 18 now here in the first half. Second night that Felton's getting lit up a little bit. Last night, Holiday got him for 35.
Yeah, well, that's not just Raymond Felton's fault. That's a high screen and roll that Amari Stoudemire gives no sort of help at all.
Nice
allows a straight line basket.
Nice pass by Felton. Kicks it back out. The extra pass to Melo. Anthony gesturing as if to say, finally.
That's a great unselfish play by Shumpert. He had a wide open three-point shot, but when you see Carmelo Anthony wide open as well, if you want to stay on the floor, you go ahead and swing it.
Good pass by Smith to Stevenson, and he gets a three. Atlanta back up by 1.
The Hawks, they just disappeared for about 6 minutes, right? 16-0 run by the Knicks, and then here they are back again. I'll tell you what, this team plays with a lot of heart. Credit Larry Drew for the job he's doing as Carmelo is warming.
Boy, when he's in rhythm, JB, he is lethal from that three-point line. Shooting a career-high 41%.
Yep, never been a great three-point shooter until the last couple seasons.
Smith, a little get-back, couldn't find it. And rebounded by Stoudemire. 2-point Knicks lead. Melo from another Burrow. He scored their last 9.
That was deep. I love it. Felton drops it through his legs, sets a little screen, and Melo, no hesitation when he's got it going, like you said. Up, and away.
Here's the switch. Teague on Stoudemire. Good defense by Stoudemire and traveling. That's the 10th turnover for Atlanta. Carmelo Anthony in the last minute has scored 9 points. He's got enough to feed the needy right there. Born in Brooklyn, but doing it in Manhattan. New York Knicks leading by 5 with 1.5 to go here in the first half. Mark Jones along with John Barry and Chris Broussard. Coming up next on the Toyota Halftime Show, the Celtics with a big win, but also a big loss today. Losing point guard Rajon Rondo, and Kobe's passing fancy. I would guess that they're talking about guarding the three-point line in the Atlanta huddle, JB.
So Carmelo Anthony, it hasn't been good lately for this New York team. Losing 2 of 3, really struggling from that three-point line. But once this guy gets going, there are not that many guys that can score the basketball like Carmelo Anthony. And when he feels it from 3, he becomes virtually unguardable. When you talk about the threes, the Knicks, this is what this Knicks team does. They shoot threes. The last 3 ball games, 15 of 58. They lose 2 of those 3. They've had 15 games, or 5 games with 15 or more threes this season. And that's why you're going to see this team fluctuate a little bit. They go through struggles. It's been a struggle lately. Tonight, shooting the 3 ball awfully well.
They will lose to teams that they're supposed to beat, but then you look at the fact that they're 4-0 this year against Miami and San Antonio. Anthony with the ball, working against Smith. Good help by Harris. Devin Harris on the move, took it right at and over Smith.
I was saying, there's nowhere to go. J.R. Smith was back. He had him on his heels, so J.R. Smith couldn't jump to try to block the shot. Harris finishes. What great speed he has.
That was part of the game plan for Larry Drew. Use the speed of that backcourt. Here's Smith. Rebounded by Chandler. He gets so many offensive rebounds for the Knicks.
You got a mismatch here. Harris on Anthony.
They try to switch back. Tough pass by Felton. He turns it over.
Yeah, too close. You got to throw a bounce pass if you're in the lane.
Julia
gets picked.
The kick out to Stevenson. That's his third three of the game. An ultra confident Deshaun Stevenson with 12 off the bench for Atlanta.
This Hawk team just doesn't go away. Created by turnovers. Felton got to take better care of the basketball. But Atlanta on the run out, finding Stevenson for the open one.
Carmelo Anthony out top. There's about a 2-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. Smith playing right up on him. A contested three off the mark. And that's going to be the end of the first half. Knotted at 52 as the Hawks look for their fourth consecutive win. And this is the first meeting of the season between the New York Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks. Carmelo Anthony coming alive in the second quarter. Jeff Teague, he was quick to hit right out of the gate for Atlanta. He has 18 in the first half. Stevenson with 12 off the bench. Let's go courtside to Chris Broussard.
Melo, Josh Smith, that's a good matchup. He did a good job on you the first quarter. Second quarter, you really got to him. Talk about that matchup and how tough that is.
I mean, it is what it is. Josh is a hell of a player in this league. Doing a lot of little things, a lot of intangibles out there on the basketball court. My shot not falling right now, but I'm not worried about that. I'm here to win the game. It ain't about me and Josh at this point.
At a certain point.
Yeah, at one point, I just got to get it going down more consistent.
Ray Felton, second game back. He struggled last night. Tonight, you feel like you guys are in better rhythm with him?
Well, I mean, we know what's at stake. This is a game that we have to go get. After giving that one up, last night in Philly, we just want to take it one possession at a time and try to win this game. That's the only thing that's important.
All right, Melo, thanks. Back to you guys.
All right, depending on which part of New York you're in, he's either an MVP candidate when you ask their fans or not. Coming up right after the break, it's the Toyota halftime show as the Knicks and the Hawks go into the locker room, knotted at 52 at the break. Jeff Teague trying to assert himself as one of the leaders, young leaders of this Hawks team. But New York countering with Felton and Carmelo Anthony from deep. Earlier today, temperatures plunging into the low teens here in New York City. Things heating up inside, though, in Madison Square Garden. Great hot shooting by both teams as you look at the numbers, 57 and 53% respectively for the Atlanta Hawks and the New York Knicks. We are tied at 52 at the break, and both benches contributing it as well. Mark Jones courtside along with John Berry. Chris Broussard joining us in just a moment. The New York Knicks have faced players in and out of the lineup because of injuries this year, JB, to starters, key players, but the one key consistent component has been Carmelo Anthony, like tonight.
He's played like an MVP for the first couple months of this season. Struggled a little bit lately. Struggled tonight in the first quarter, just 1 of 5. But when you're scoring 29 a game, you're going to find a way to get it going. And Prigioni got him an easy 3 early. The mid-range pull-up from the free throw line, another 3. And then once he gets hot, he can make them from all angles. That one there, this one about 8 feet behind the line, an early transition. Carmelo got it going big time in that second quarter. And Jeff Teague for the Hawks, primarily a driver of the basketball. Knocked down a couple threes early, and when you do that, and you have the speed like Jeff Teague does, you run some pick and roll, you get yourself into the lane. He did it time and time again, and he was terrific for this Atlanta team that went through a drought where they were outscored 16-0, but fought their way back in the ballgame.
NBA Sunday presented by State Farm. A look at the numbers for the respective scoring leaders. Teague with 18, Melo with 16 as the development and growth of Teague continues. Carmelo Anthony coming off a cold shooting night last night. 9 of 28 in that loss against Philadelphia. Great matchup at the forward spot between Josh Smith and Carmelo Anthony tonight. Underway here in the third quarter. gets the screen from Chandler. Chandler was calling for the ball. He was left wide open. And James White gets the surprise start here, JB, in the third quarter for New York.
Well, I don't see Shumpert. Excuse me, Shumpert is out on the floor. Jason Kidd struggling with the back. Obviously not going to be out here for the second half. He's not on the bench. So Jason Kidd, the start of the top of the ball game. So James White gets a chance.
Well, Kidd has missed some time this year because of that back that you mentioned. And it's been up to Prigioni, and now they have at least Shumpert back to handle some of the backcourt duties. And see how the Knicks make a go of it without him. If that's the case, here's Horford. Al Horford this summer played for the Dominican Republic in the FIBA Americas Championship, and he told me that that's helped him, as the Knicks call timeout, develop a lot more of his perimeter game. It showed there. 22nd timeout taken by the New York Knicks as the Hawks catch them napping a little bit with some full court pressure. Back to NBA Sunday presented by State Farm here at Madison Square Garden, just underway here in the third quarter. As the Hawks with a 2-point lead, the only bucket of the third quarter. A report coming from our Chris Broussard a few moments ago on Jason Kidd. Their athletic trainer saying that Kidd is going to be rested for the rest of the game because of that sore back we talked about. And Shumpert, Felton going to handle the ball handling duties. That pass tipped out of bounds by Korver. Raymond Felton, if you're just joining us, playing in his second game back after missing a month almost because of the broken right pinky. That's his shooting hand. Felton using the ball screen. Kick out to a wide open Anthony from three. Carmelo Anthony got off to a slow start, but he has connected on his last 4 threes in a row.
Well, that's a nice play there. You run pick and roll. Chandler slides down the middle of the lane. If you go help, you leave a great shooter in Carmelo Anthony at the top wide open.
Smith missed that last 3. Here's Anthony. Carmelo, remember, has a consecutive streak of 28 games with 20 or more points. That was coming into tonight.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he gets it.
You're so brave.
Ty Richie Guerin
Yep.
of the Knicks.
You're so brave.
Thank you.
Unlike that Super Bowl prediction a moment ago. Anthony trying to get plus 20 there. Tipped out of bounds. Good hustle by Shumpert. Here's a look at his streak. 28 coming in. Richie Guerin in the 61-62 season had 29 straight. Right now tied with Patrick Ewing. Carmelo Anthony, a native of New York, born in Brooklyn. Quick step back. Boy, when he starts cooking, there's a lot of hot grease in that pot. Carmelo ties Richie Guerin now with 29 straight games with 20 or more points. Korver.
Whew, that's a quick trigger.
He's had a quiet night for him compared to last night when he connected on 8 threes. Leading that comeback for Atlanta.
Leads the league in three-point field goal percentage. We'll probably see him in Houston. Three-point shootout. Terrific shooter.
Here's Felton. Off the nice spin, came up a little bit short. Teague in transition. And he's tripped up and fouled by Felton. Do you think that Atlanta has used that running game that Larry Drew told us about?
I think they've been
they wanted to
pretty
so
selective. I mean, Larry Drew didn't want to get into an up and down game shooting threes. He doesn't mind running for layups. As long as you're Kyle Korver, you're the only guy that can take spot up threes. But the way Deshaun Stevenson's shooting it, he's 3 for 3. There's no problem going ahead and running and trying to create an open look early in the offense.
Whistle and Teague stepping out of bounds. That's the 11th turnover for the Atlanta Hawks.
It's an interesting team, you know, Mark. What's their calling card? I mean, they don't exclusively post up Josh Smith or Al Horford. They run pick and roll. They get out and break up on the break a little bit. They're not a great fast break team. Their defensive numbers are middle of the road. Honestly, to be 25 and 18, I am absolutely thoroughly impressed as we see an early break. Kyle Korver. Larry Drew has no problem with that.
Well, what does it say about this Atlanta team, JB, that as they take a 2-point lead, they trade away arguably their best player in Joe Johnson, and their record is about the same as it was a season ago.
Okay. You have to be impressed. It's a collective group. Shumpert knocks down his second 3 of the night. And there's, like we've talked about, a ton of money available next year. Who are they going to spend it on? Do they bring back who comes back? Danny Ferry, a guy that has a lot to do this offseason.
That's going to be an offensive foul against Atlanta. Fouls against Horford, his 3rd personal foul. J.R. Smith into the ball game for the Knicks. They go with him, Shumpert, Carmelo Anthony, Chandler, Felton. Felton on the kick out to Carmelo. Carmelo has scored 17 of their last 19 points.
Again, attention to Tyson Chandler off the pick and roll when he rolls to the basket. Creates the open look for Carmelo Anthony.
Teague on the blow by Jeff Teague. Some elevation too.
Did I tell you he was explosive? We talked before the game saying when Jeff Teague gets into that lane, he can absolutely rise up, and that was a beautiful play there.
On the roll to the bucket, Chandler fouled by Kyle Korver.
Korver a little late coming over from the bottom as we see Jeff Teague using that terrific speed. A little dipsy-do. Finish at the rim. He has been in the paint all night long. The Knicks got to do a better job of shutting him off. Make him into a jump shooter.
Tyson Chandler going to go to the foul line. Averaging 12 and 10 on the season to make his first appearance in the NBA's All-Star game in Houston in a couple of weeks. As we take a look at the NBA national television big board Monday. Orlando at Brooklyn, Miami at Brooklyn on Wednesday on ESPN, along with the Lakers at Phoenix. And it's Memphis at OKC and Dallas at Golden State Thursday on TNT. For more on these games, please log on to NBA.com. The Lakers at Phoenix as Nash makes his return to the desert. What do you make of the way that Kobe Bryant is playing now as more of a distributor? Is that going to work in the long term?
2 games in a row with 14 assists. We'll see. I'm
undecided.
You know what? I'm doing that game Wednesday, so we will find out as Josh Smith has a nice post up and finish. I'll be interested to see if he continues to do that. But you know, a great win against Utah, smoked them out of the building, and then a tremendous win today against Oklahoma City. So we'll see as Carmelo continues his hot shooting. They're going to take a look at that. They're calling it a 2 right now. And they'll take a look at that at a timeout to see if it was a 3-point shot.
After that frigid start, Carmelo Anthony is now 9 of 18 from the field. Horford on the pick and pop.
Now that's what Larry Drew said he wanted to get into. A lot of pick and pop. Feels like Horford's a great standstill straight shooter. He hasn't missed a shot tonight. They might want to do that. We're going to see a different coverage here on Carmelo Anthony. They're going to jump this pick and roll. They switched the pick and roll now with Horford same size as Josh Smith.
On the kick out to J.R. Smith.
Still can't buy one.
And here's Josh Smith in transition for Atlanta. Teague rising up. And that's going to be a charge against Teague. In full disagreement with Bill Spooner, the official. That's his third.
That was the right call there. J.R. Smith clearly. Oh. Well, he was on the line, but then the left heel moved right at the end. Let's see if he did get out of the line. Oh, I don't know. I'm staying out of it. I don't know.
Anthony on the baseline. Carmelo Anthony. Harris gets it to Horford. Tied at 65, just under 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter. I'm Mark Jones along with John Barry and Chris Broussard. First meeting of the year between the Hawks and Knicks, and one for Teague. That time leaving no doubt.
Jeff T. Livid in the lane here at the Garden. Good screen by Horford to the cup. Gets the contact from Carmelo, and Jeff T. carrying his Hawk team here on Sunday night.
The NBA on ESPN is presented all season long by State Farm. Brought to you by Out.
Carmelo Anthony starting to heat up here in the second and third quarters. Right now, the game's leading scorer. After a slow start, Atlanta, though, leading by 2. Carmelo in the conversation very much in terms of MVP candidates, right?
Absolutely.
Who else is in it?
In the first couple months, I would have said he was the guy, but to me right now, it's Kevin Durant. He's taken his game to a new level. It's not just the scoring, the rebounds, the assists. His team's got the best record in the league, and I think LeBron's following into the Michael Jordan thing where, okay, everybody agrees he's the best player in the league, and that doesn't mean you win the MVP every year.
You're just tired of giving it
which
to
I
him?
don't understand.
Yeah.
But why wouldn't it have been Michael Jordan every year? And then Chris Paul, with Chris Paul out of the lineup, 4 straight losses for the Clippers. So you see the value that he has. I think he's the best point guard in the league. And
if you got
Carmelo, 4th.
Oh, okay. So that's the order that you're ranking them.
That's my order, yes.
You know, you're going to see these guys All-Star Weekend. They'll be at you. J.R. Smith with the jumper.
I'm all right. I feel good about it.
Okay, I'm just asking.
They're all in the conversation. That should be good enough. Well, let's hope we see Chris Paul. We don't know any time frame on this knee he's got going.
Nice post up by Smith over Tyson Chandler. An impressive move by Jay Smooth.
That's where I'd like to see him more. In the post, a little jump hook with the left hand, with his ability to raise. He's not going to get that shot blocked. I think he could be a dominant low post player. If he has 50 grand, we'll send him down to Hakeem Olajuwon. Yeah, it might be 60 grand now. I mean, the work that Hakeem's doing.
Foul against Horford. That's his 4th personal foul, JB. If you're Larry Drew, do you have to sit him down right now?
I like what this team's doing right now. I'd keep him in and just be very careful as I'm sitting over here. I'm not a coach. That's why Zaza Pachulia is coming in.
Okay. Horford going to take a breather.
But, you stick him on Chandler, he shouldn't get any fouls. All you got to do is box him out. You don't have to worry about him coming at you on the offensive end. But he goes to safe play and wants to keep him around for the 4th quarter because he's playing pretty good basketball.
Well, Larry Drew doing something right. This team overachieving at 25-18 coming into this one tonight. And it's interesting as Pachulia comes into the ball game, asked him about how this year's team is different. He says, Mark, it's a lot of fun playing this year. I said, why? He said, well, we're really sharing the ball a lot more than we did in the last couple of years.
Well, yeah, I don't think that was Joe Johnson's fault. I think this team relied on him too much. Just gave him the basketball and kind of cleared out. And I certainly don't blame Joe for that. As Carmelo hits another. How do you leave him wide open?
30 points with the meter still running for Carmelo Anthony. Knicks up by 1.
9 for 28 last night.
Right at 50% right now. 10 for 20 tonight for Carmelo. That's going to go against the Hawks. Got off to a slow start in the first quarter. Just 1 of 5. But since that time, 50% and over. Let me ask you this, though. As hot as he is right now, at one point, did he become too dependent on him?
Well, I think that's been part of the problem over the past couple weeks with this team, is that they have become too dependent on him and just letting him go isolation as Amari gets in the post, which is nice to see for the Knicks. But yes, you can't just throw a guy the basketball and have him go do it. I mean, you remember LeBron James for all the years in Cleveland. Yes, they had some success because he is that good, but in the end, to win an NBA championship, that's not going to be good enough. To ask one man to do it every single time down on a one-on-one basis.
Stoudemire missing the first 8. 2 of the Big Ten's finest squaring off, folks, on Saturday. Trey Burke leading Michigan into Assembly Hall in Bloomington to take on Cody Zeller and the Hoosiers. Saturday primetime presented by DirecTV. Michigan against Indiana Saturday at 9 Eastern on ESPN, and watch ESPN. And there's a lot of feeling around the scouts that I've spoken to that Trey Burke could be the best and first point guard taken if he decides
He's
to
just
come
a
out.
junior, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Michigan should change their name to the NBA Suns. How many guys they got? What, Hardaway?
Got a bunch.
Hardaway, Horford, Glenn Robinson.
Yeah.
Bunch of them.
Glenn Robinson Jr. Yeah. Here's Anthony cross court to Felton. Carmelo might have been thinking about launching before he caught.
No,
JP,
his eyes lit up because Zaza Pachulia is about to come out and guard him. He was feeling real good. Like, what am I going to do here? Should I take the three or go to the rack? And he didn't do either. The ball goes out of bounds. Hawks take over.
Nothing personal, Zaza. Well, tonight the Knicks are celebrating Staten Island night as part of their Basketball in the Boroughs program. Now, as part of Staten Island night, the Knicks are honoring Port Richmond High School principal Tim Gannon, who's in addition to being the winningest coach in Staten Island high school boys basketball history, being recognized for his relief efforts following Hurricane Sandy. Mark Jones, John Barry, Chris Broussard here. Third period action. 3:23 to go. And New York up by a deuce. Korver off to curl. Smith with a nice defensive play on the deflection. A little out of control, couldn't finish. Here come the Hawks. Smith on the move. Korver from downtown, way off.
Well, credit Jeff Teague for running back and not giving up on the play. J.R. Smith gets an easy dunk if Teague doesn't hustle back.
Well, the story of the second and third periods for the Knicks and the game is this guy, Carmelo Anthony, with a career-high 8 3-pointers. Cross-court pass. Felton knocks it down.
Now that's a play that Carmelo Anthony in years past might not make. He's going. He's hot. 8 threes. And that time Jeff Teague stays. He leaves Raymond Felton.
How much of that is trust?
His team, well, he trusts his teammate to make a play as Josh Smith knocks down the Jet. But that's an unselfish play. It's the correct play. And it's funny, like if it was LeBron James, everybody would say, what is he doing passing the ball? Why did he shoot the ball?
It's all about expectations sometimes.
That was a great play, unselfish, the right play for Carmelo to make there.
Harry Stoudemire facing up on Smith. And it's going to come back the other way. Off of the knee of Stoudemire. Much to his chagrin. Under 2 minutes to go here in the third period. Gennaro Pargo coming into the ball game for Teague, going to give him a breather. Korver also sits down, and Deshaun Stevenson comes in.
Oh, Josh Smith starts the night out guarding Carmelo Anthony. Now he's over to Stoudemire. Seen him guard J.R. Smith at times. That's exactly what Larry Drew was talking about, the ability to guard positions 1 through 5. Josh Smith, not many guys in the league can do that.
Smith trying to muscle up and post up on Carmelo. 4 on the shot clock for Pargo. Smith forced to heave a bad shot. And rebounded by Stoudemire.
Boy, he had it in and out. I used to hate when a teammate would throw me the ball with 2 seconds left on the clock. An old vet told me one time, just throw it right back to him. And it'll never happen again.
Did you ever do it?
No.
No. Okay. Sounded good. Smith on the baseline with a tough shot. Earl Smith Jr. with the baseline J. Knocks it down. He's got 11. And Pargo throws it to nobody in particular, right in between Johnson and Smith. 16th turnover, for Atlanta.
Just piling up for the Atlanta Hawks. Turn it over 15 times a night. It's 16 already with yet the fourth quarter to go.
Felton splits it. Nice feed to Stoudemire. New York leading by 7. Under a minute to go in the third. How offensively challenged is this lineup for the Hawks? Johnson taking it inside, and he's fouled.
Well, very offensive challenge. If you're going to just post up Zaza Pachulia, I mean, that's not his game. He's an offensive rebounder. He's a swing guy. He sets picks, and that's what I was talking about earlier with this Hawk team. Is like, what do they go to? you've got this lineup out here with Johnson, Pachulia, Josh Smith, Stevenson, Pargo. No one can put the ball on the floor really and create their own. Josh Smith at times can do that, but you got to come up with something better, a little bit of ball movement. You're staying on one side of the floor. When you do that, good defensive teams become great defensive teams.
We would be remiss if we didn't mention the fact that Lou Williams is a key component missing from the Hawks team, JB.
Absolutely.
He was their third leading scorer, and how much did he create for them outside of that?
Yeah, I mean, almost 15 points a game off the bench. I mean, that's huge. A tremendous luxury, a terrific scorer, and yes, his absence is sorely felt here, particularly when you come off the bench. But another guy that can create his own, because his team just doesn't have that many guys that can do that.
Johnson missing the second free throw.
Violation on Stoudemire.
That's going to give Ivan Johnson another chance here. Johnson just a 61% free throw shooter on the season. Johnson, a guy that has been very transient through his basketball career. Spent some time in the D-League. Had some temper issues. But has seemingly gotten those under control, and now over the last year a productive member of this Hawks team. Makes the second one. 5-point New York lead. You go 2 for 1 here.
If J.R. Smith has it in his hands, he will. No, looks like they're going to hold on to it.
Smith kicks it out to Felton. Good ball movement. Carmelo for 3. That's 9. 9 threes and counting for Carmelo Anthony.
I can't understand how he is open. I mean, when you get beat off the dribble, certainly it creates a help situation, but if you have to rotate, you definitely get to Carmelo early. Make someone else shoot the basketball.
Margo out top. 4 on the clock. Got to go with it. Johnson drives it. Didn't get it off in time. No foul on the play. Carmelo Anthony's 9 threes ties a franchise record. A textbook-looking jumper. Finds nothing but the bottom. New York with the lead when we come back for the 4th quarter.
Welcome back to New York. Knicks ahead by 8. I'm here with Mike Woodson. Offensively, you guys have it going, especially Carmelo Anthony. How concerned, though, are you about the defense?
Well, that quarter wasn't that bad. We gave up 22 points. So, I mean, that's kind of the range we need to be at. But I like the pace coming down the stretch of the 3rd quarter. But we got to keep that pace alive.
You had the big lineup of Amari Stoudemire, Carmelo, and Tyson Chandler. How do you determine whether to go big with that group or small at the end of the game?
Well, again, that's going to be the line coming down the home stretch, you know, for us. I mean, I got to get to it eventually, and we just got to get them in positions to play well.
Thanks, Mike. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Chris. The Knicks with an 8-point lead to start this final 12 minutes.
It's not often you shoot 60% and find yourself trailing by 8. That's exactly what's going on with the Hawks. Good take there by Johnson. Carmelo Anthony 10 threes through 3 quarters. NBA records 12. Kobe Bryant and Donyell Marshall both hit 12.
You think he's going to get it before it's all over?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think he's going to tie it.
Prediction?
He's going to tie it.
Prigioni got ripped by Devin Harris. The Hawks looking to make a move here. Still only down by 6. Pachulia has the smaller Carmelo. Tried to kick it out and it's tipped out of bounds by Prigioni. The Atlanta Hawks already with signature wins this year over the Thunder and Grizzlies on the road, and wins over the Clippers and Bulls at home. This would be a quality win for Atlanta, and this is the first meeting between the two of the season. Johnson with the miss.
We won't talk about the other Bulls game that they had when they scored
At
5 points in a quarter and 58 for the game.
It was after that game that Josh Smith, frustrated, was suspended for a game. Stoudemire wheels baseline. Nice move, but couldn't finish. Chance to cut it to 4 for the Hawks. Harris took the bump, And we'll go to the line for a pair. And Larry Drew, the head coach of the Hawks, wired for sound. Listen up.
All we've done is reposition ourselves to go win this game, okay? You're down less than 10 going into the fourth quarter. That's a great position to be in on the road. All right, come on, let's go get it.
JB, that's nothing like the 27 they were down against Boston
The other night at home. Well, that game was at home, and they were down 27 early. But no, he's right. They are in great position right here. They've done a nice job. All you got to do is take care of the basketball. You're shooting 60% from the field. You just got to get more field goal attempts. And if you turn the ball over, you obviously don't get to shoot the basketball.
Harris knocks down the first. Good hustle by Johnson. That's what he does. A chance to cut it down to 3. Harris. Pachulia with the nice left-handed layup off the feed.
And that high pick and roll has been successful all night long. They're putting Stoudemire in that thing. He's got to do a better job of showing out, stopping that ball handler, not allowing him into the lane.
Smith going to work on Stevenson. J.R. Smith searched for it and found it. Lead back up to 5. 10 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Knicks trying to bounce back after being drubbed last night in Philadelphia. Pachulia blocked by Stoudemire.
I got to think we're going to see Al Horford here. He went out with 4 fouls early. J.R. Smith knocks down another wide open shot.
And Larry Drew wants to talk it over, calls a timeout with the lead back up to 7. 15 points for Smith. Well, JR, the type of player that scares both coaches, yours and theirs.
The NBA on ESPN is presented all season long by State Farm, with the assist to get you to a better state. And in part by Wendy's new right price, right size menu, with big tastes you can't find anywhere else. And Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing.
You know, JB, I was traumatized by the fact that Shaun White cut his hair. A whole different look now.
That really bothered you? Well, he's
hardly know him anymore.
He hadn't won in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, shake it up. How about Memphis? I mean, they really struggle to score. You know, what happened up in Boston with Rondo, does Danny Ainge start to move some pieces? And I don't know. Paul Pierce down to Memphis for Rudy Gay. I don't know.
They could use a little scoring, especially off the bench, although Pierce is a starter. Here's Harris on the move. Lost the handle. What a great hustle by Carmelo Anthony to try to retrieve that.
And he didn't have to. It was off of David Harris's leg, but nonetheless,
he's in the
mood. Carmelo. Good strip off Devin Harris's foot, and Carmelo makes somebody have to wipe up the floor. Good hustle, Carmelo.
7-point lead for the New York Knicks. See if they can close this one out. Al Horford back in the ball game for Atlanta. Melo with the pull-up over Johnson, rebounded by Harris. Johnson back out to Korver, but a quiet night, relatively speaking, for Kyle Korver. After hitting 8 threes in the last game, Deshaun Stevenson doing a little heavy lifting from downtown.
How about Stevenson?
He does have that championship ring from a couple of years ago.
That's 4 threes for him.
Key member of the Mavs championship team. Smith out top. J.R. Smith. Here come the Hawks. Tries to get it down to 2. Great feed and dime to Horford for the easy bucket. And Mike Woodson calls timeout. Atlanta Hawks.
Poor possession there by the Knicks. Long rebound. Out go the Hawks. Stevenson finds the streaking Horford. The bigs don't get back for the Knicks. We've got ourselves a 2-point ball game.
Welcome back to NBA Sunday, presented by State Farm, Madison Square Garden, New York. And it's time for our State Farm Better Assist Carmelo Anthony in rhythm tonight.
Yeah, assisting the Knicks here offensively as he's done all season long. It's been a struggle of late, but tonight, after a slow start in the first quarter, Carmelo has picked it up and he has made shots from everywhere, pull-ups from the three-point line where he has 9 of them. Stoudemire finding him across court. Josh Smith to Felton, the extra pass. And Melo has been lighting up the nets with 33 points in just under 36 minutes. It's been the Melo show here in the Garden.
Unable, though, to shake the Hawks, who trail by just 2. Novak in the ball game, along with Stoudemire, Smith, and Anthony. Felton running the point. Try to get Novak off the flare screen. 5 on the shot clock. Now we're working against Horford. Inside to Stoudemire, and he lost the handle. So Atlanta with a chance to tie or take the lead on a 3. A wrestling match inside, and Anthony is calling for the foul, trying to guard Horford.
Well, Atlanta now switching the Carmelo pick and rolls with Horford. Horford, a guy that can handle himself out on the perimeter. And Horford got a run out here. Carmelo with evidently a grab.
Jimmy, all the talk about Josh Smith not making the All-Star team. Al Horford is averaging 16 and 10 this year, and he's been there before.
Yeah, he was very disappointed. Yeah, been to the game a couple times, and you wonder, teams that have a winning record, that's normally something that you get awarded for having. And no Atlanta Hawk, because Joe Johnson's gone. He was there 6-7 years in a row.
Never thought about it. Nice feed instead, and it's a tie ball game. Great ball movement by the Hawks.
Great offensive play there. Back screen trying to get Korver open for the three-point shot. So much attention to him because we know he can knock those down. Horford with a great slip to the rim. Korver finds him.
Stevenson guarding Carmelo Anthony. Anthony with a few inches on him. Stevenson a good defender, though. Didn't matter.
Now, he wanted a push off there for Melo. It was funny. You see Amari come out, and Carmelo waves him off. He doesn't want pick and roll. He doesn't need pick and roll. If we get Amari, going to get a foul on Teague going to the lane. He's going to get 2 shots. And Carmelo, that's all the talk about Amari and Carmelo being able to coexist. They can coexist. They just don't complement one another's game. Carmelo Anthony doesn't need pick and roll. He's not a pick and roll type player. Amari wants to come out, set pick and roll. You get a double team on Carmelo, then Amari rolls to the basket.
It's been working. NBA Wednesday on ESPN at 8 o'clock. LeBron James hits Brooklyn. Look on Darren Williams and the Nets. At 10:30, Steve Nash returns to Phoenix as the Lakers take on the Suns. NBA Wednesday presented by State Farm. A great doubleheader. A great finish coming up here. Knotted at 88. Teague with 25 in the game. Smith guarded by Korver. Tied up, and that's going to be a jump ball call. Good defense by the Hawks.
The Knicks wanted a jump ball on the other end. Hawks get it here as we see Chandler, Stoudemire, Anthony in the lineup, like Coach Woodson said after the third with Chris Broussard. This is the lineup that's going to finish games. I better get used to it now because it's a team that he hasn't had together very long. We'll see how they get it done here in the last 6:39.
That's still very much a work in progress. Anthony working against Stevenson. Stevenson in his jersey. Wow. Need a bigger jersey. Josh Smith out to Stevenson. Couldn't answer. And there's a man wide open, Stoudemire. Great hustle, but a foul on Teague. Wow.
That's big time hustle there. Felton finding Amari. Thinks he's got the easy one. Teague got an awful lot of basketball in that play too.
Sure did. Great hustle by Teague. Whew. That's the 4th foul on him as Stoudemire goes to the free throw line. Stoudemire has been looking much better in recent games, averaging over 15 per in the last 4.
When the guy's got it going, there's just simply nothing you can do. That's great defense by Deshaun Stevenson. Great contest. Fadeaway jump shot from about 21 feet. Melo, not many better at putting that ball in the basket, especially tonight.
Stoudemire knocks down 2. 12 in the ball game for him to go along with 5 rebounds. New York back up by 4. Make that 1. Kyle Korver coming off a game where he had 8 threes. Knocks that one down to make it a 1-point contest.
You can't lose body contact on a great shooter. You try to shortcut the screen. If you get caught up and give this guy an inch, he'll take a mile, and Korver did that time, knocking it down.
9 on the shot clock for Smith. Trying to go to work here against Korver. Felton got an open look. Tipped out of bounds. It'll stay New York basketball. Tyson Chandler still holding his neck. Something he's been wrestling with. Going back to the first quarter, had a heating or an ice pack on it in the first half. Appears to be a little bit of discomfort. New York leading by 1. Back with more after this. Whether they make the playoffs or not. Back here, New York leading by 1. And for Tyson Chandler and the New York Knicks, the Hawks have been literally a pain in the neck for him. Still in some discomfort.
Yeah, he is. Well, you hope he just took a shot to it. It's not took an elbow or.
Guy's going to be making the trip to the All-Star game in Houston in a couple of weeks. Anthony working against Horford this time. Stevenson comes to double. Two-man game with Smith. Stoudemire. Well, the Hawks got the deflection they wanted, but not the result.
Tyson Chandler, I'm just trying to watch it. He's really hurt. Well, they better be careful here for the Knicks as we see another pick and roll. Jeff Teague into the lane.
Teague turning the corner and will go to the free throw line.
If you're not going to jump him and take the ball out of his hands on that side of the floor, you've got to have your weak side defenders right there in the lane waiting for him. Really, you want to meet him outside the lane. By the time he gets in the lane, it's too late. And this guy has really showed me something tonight. He's got terrific speed. We know that. But playing with smarts, getting into the paint, and wreaking havoc on the Knicks.
Teague with 26 and a perfect 6 for 6 from the free throw line tonight. Doubling up on his season average. 4th-year player out of Wake Forest. Makes it a 1-point game. Teague now a point shy of a season high for him. A whistle and a foul going to go against Deshaun Stevenson.
Just Atlanta's second. They'll be in the bonus next time the Knicks foul them. 5 to go. Free throw line could play a role here.
Nice feed by Carmelo Anthony. Stoudemire got the tip to go. John, you pointed it out earlier. That's a play that maybe Melo doesn't make last year. Good pass, right?
I think he trusts his teammates much better this season. And I'll tell you what, Amari looking more like the Amari that we've come to know over the past few seasons.
Korver for 3.
Oh,
and he's fouled, taking a 3-pointer. And Kyle Korver will have a chance to tie the game now for Atlanta. That foul going to go against Stoudemire. His 4th. 4.5 minutes to go. Korver, 80% free throw shooter on the season. He was acquired from the Chicago Bulls in exchange for cash. Coming off a 27-point game a couple of nights ago against the Boston Celtics.
How about Chicago to be able to do what they're doing right now? You think about their bench, what they've lost. Ashik, Kyle Korver, Ronnie Brewer, C.J. Watson, John Lucas III, who played some big moments for them. I mean, their whole bench absolutely depleted. And what Tom Thibodeau's doing there without Derrick Rose, Pretty impressive.
Yeah, was reportedly close to coming back right around the All-Star break.
Oh, I hope so. And I think teams in the East hope he doesn't.
Yeah.
Because the way they defend, you get a guy that can score the basketball like that, Chicago Bulls could be right back up on top of the Eastern Conference before we know it.
Tied at 96. Smith for three. Got it. J.R. Smith, who can be maddeningly inconsistent at times. 18 points tonight. Horford slips the screen for the tie. Josh Smith knocks it down. Jay Smooth knocks it at 99.
No. Yes. Great shot.
Plays like that will have Danny Ferry scratching his head as to whether and how much to sign him to this offseason. He'll be an unrestricted free agent. Anthony guarded by Korver. Smith, another long three, way off the mark. Atlanta looking to get a quick one. Teague with a sweet crossover, but couldn't finish. Left it a little bit short.
Big time ability to get in the lane. He put on a spurt right there.
Stevenson getting all he can handle from the second leading scorer in the NBA, Carmelo Anthony. Shot it over him like he wasn't there that time.
And he just put a little shoulder into Stevenson to create some space. And when he rises up with that little fadeaway, no hand is going to bother him.
Atlanta looking at that two-point deficit this time. Korver for the lead. And rebounded by Anthony.
Got a pretty good look there. J.R. Smith got picked off on the screen. Chandler a little late to come out. Good play call there, but Korver unable to knock it down.
Carmelo Anthony drawing the foul from Deshaun Stevenson.
Still side out though, Mark.
Yep, that's his
All
third.
right. Go ahead, battle him. Don't let him get his spot. Make him catch it out as far as possible. Stevenson. I don't know about that. I mean, let's go. I've seen a lot worse than that.
New York with 5 team fouls. Atlanta with 3. They go right back to Carmelo. Passes out of the double. Good active hands by Korver. Tipped out of bounds. 6 on the shot clock for the Knicks.
This is the situation here. When you have Carmelo and he's going this good, you know he's going to get double teamed. You have Chandler and you have Amari on the floor. You like to have another shooter out there.
And they come up with the script. Teague, Smith. Oh, smooth and one. Super smooth for Josh Smith.
Whoa, wait.
He brought that from Brooklyn.
Perfect timing from Teague. Smith doesn't have to put it on the floor. Catch, up, finish. Ew. Big time, Josh Smith.
For the lead. Smith just a 50% free throw shooter on the season. There you go. It's been exclusively Carmelo Anthony that they're playing through here.
Well, with this lineup, what I was getting at is you don't have another shooter on the floor. A lot of times right now it's Novak or Jason Kidd, which creates more space. Chandler and Stoudemire standing together. You can have one guy guard two.
Carmelo Anthony apparently hit in the face and a technical foul called. That's like a foul against Carmelo. A tee.
Well, I think Felton came over and got the technical.
Somebody from New York did.
Stevenson, you know, just flailing at the basketball, didn't mean to hit Carmelo. And I think Felton came over, voices displeasure, and he winds up getting a tee. Or did Melo get it?
Well, either way, Kyle
I'm not
Korver
sure. I'm
should
sorry.
go to the line. And Korver ties it, pardon me, gives Atlanta a 1-point lead. Stevenson with active hands.
Yeah, he's just going after the basketball, hit him, and there's the tee. I'm sorry, I thought Felton came over, but Carmelo slamming the basketball. I know it wasn't in frustration to the official.
If you get hit in the face, are you not allowed a little latitude?
No,
in your
you can't. Well, you
frustration?
can't slam the basketball like that. It doesn't matter why you did it.
And that forces a bad shot by Carmelo, and Stoudemire there for the rebound.
Now that's pretty clear in the rules. If you hit a ball that goes out of into the stands or you slam it up in the air, that's a technical foul. He wasn't mad. They feel she's just frustrated. He got hit in the face.
That's the 15th foul against Atlanta.
That could prove costly. You're talking 102 minutes in a tie ball game to get a technical foul.
Don't forget, coming up next, X Games from Aspen. X Games Aspen, that's immediately following this one. Amari Stoudemire shooting for the lead. Well, another good outing for Amari Stoudemire, who scored over 15 points in 4 consecutive games. Atlanta looking for its 4th straight win. Back with more. Everyone to NBA Sunday, presented by State Farm. New York City, aglow at night. A lot of current and electricity running through the building as well. The Knicks with a 1-point lead. Carmelo Anthony having a phenomenal night at the offensive end. What do the Hawks do here on offense to try and take the lead?
Well, I think you go high pick and roll. Jeff Teague's done a great job of getting himself into the lane. New York has done a poor job keeping him out of the lane. His speed has been too much to handle. Maybe you run some for Korver on a double screen action to try to get him a 3. But I'd like to see Teague trying to get himself into the lane.
Here's Smith, who hit a big 3 a moment ago. On the lob, great execution out of the timeout, and Horford finishes. Al Horford, one-time All-Star for the Hawks, gives Atlanta a 1-point lead. He has 16.
That's some kind of set play there. Larry Drew came up with. Great look by Smith. And you know where the Knicks are going.
Anthony up top. Smith on the wing. 5 on the shot clock. Korver, well defended. Stoudemire will give him another possession on a tap back by Tyson Chandler, who's still holding his neck.
And he's the master of the tap back. You see him do it time and time again. Create another possession for his team.
Nice cut by Stoudemire, but he couldn't find the handle on the pass from Anthony. And that's going to be an over and back violation against Smith.
I have to see that again. I don't know.
18th turnover by Atlanta.
I don't know about that one. Josh Smith stopping at the wrong play. You don't stop just right over the half-court line. He's over the line, and then he does step back. It's the correct call by Billy Spooner. You know, you don't take the basketball and stop. Right here, you have the sideline defending you, and then you have the half-court line. Very difficult. Smith should have got rid of that basketball earlier.
Carmelo Anthony goes with it. A little bit out of control. Stoudemire hustling loose ball. Who's got it? Atlanta out of bounds.
Now they can look at that. He pointed the wrong way. Billy Spooner's on it. Pointed the wrong way. Clearly, Carmelo Anthony hit that basketball out of bounds. That's Atlanta ball.
37.4 to go. Great hustle here, JB, by both teams.
Absolutely.
Horford and Stoudemire both battling underneath.
Yep. Carmelo hits it out of bounds. That's the right call. 37 seconds. You don't have to foul. 1-point game. 2 possession.
Neither team with a foul to give.
They're going to take a look at it, but I think this is going to stay Atlanta basketball.
That's one of the rule changes this year. Atlanta leading by 1, looking for its 4th consecutive win. A win tonight would put Atlanta at an even 500 on the road at 11-11, and Chandler still being attended to. One more look. Smith had it knocked out.
That's off Carmelo. There's no question. Let's see. Carmelo reaches in there. Yeah, you know, it didn't hit. I thought it might have hit Josh Smith's thigh, but it didn't. That's off Carmelo. That'll be Atlanta basketball. You know, for as well as this Knicks team has played throughout the season, they're just 9-10. First 500 teams. Don't get this game, you get dropped to 9-11.
Well, one of the disclaimers, JB, on that, or how much of a disclaimer I ask you, is the fact that they've had guys in and out of the lineup. Felton missed a month, missed 12 games with the broken finger.
Yep, very difficult to get some rhythm here with this team. Yeah, Stoudemire missed 30 games. Shumpert missed 36 games. Carmelo's been out 7 games. Now Jason Kidd's ISO. You have to give them some more time to reconnect here. It might take them a couple weeks, and they've been struggling for a couple weeks. So
well, they took a look at the play, and now they want to look at the clock to see how much time is actually remaining.
So 38-1 or 38 should be on the clock.
They're going to say Atlanta Hawks basketball after the review. Don't forget, coming up right after this, X Games Aspen 2013.
Mark the difference in the ball game right now. Is a Carmelo Anthony technical. No, he was out of frustration, get hit in the face. But you gotta hold, keep your composure in these moments.
All right, so last time they ran a little 2-man game, and Horford got a bucket on the slip screen. That's going to be an offensive foul on Smith. An illegal screen. So the Knicks still alive.
Yeah, they tried to go high screen. Smith got out there late. This is the ball handler's fault. When you have the basketball, you have to wait until your offensive man is there. He's set, so he doesn't get that call. He went a little bit too early. Smith tried to go out a little bit further. He hits the knee out there. Offensive foul and a huge turnover here late for the Hawks.
Costly turnover. 22 seconds to go. Back at Madison Square Garden, the Atlanta Hawks leading by 1. New York out of timeouts. Atlanta with a full and a 20 remaining. If you're New York and Tyson Chandler in obvious pain, how much does that affect what they do? He's not a big scorer, though. But
right, yeah, no. I'd come with another shooter, and we'll see what they do. Obviously, Carmelo Anthony's going to get the basketball, get another shooter to spread the floor. In that case, if you double team, you're leaving a shooter. Yeah, Tyson Chandler's going to come out of the ball game. I like the move. You put Novak in. Now, if you double team, you've got 3-point shooters surrounded Carmelo Anthony, and you run the risk. But for me, and I believe it every single night, I'm not letting their best player take the shot. And I'll live or die with, if it's Felton, if it's J.R. Smith, or even Novak. Novak hasn't even taken a 3 tonight. I don't mind. I'm not letting Carmelo Anthony get this shot. He's been too good this evening.
Well, they started with Stevenson on him at the start of this period. Now they've got Josh Smith guarding him.
Let's see if they play it straight up or they double team.
Anthony working against Smith. Goes with it quick on the drive. And one. Melo.
What a great job by Melo to go quick. You said it. He didn't allow Atlanta to set their D. He caught this ball, ripped through move, goes right to the hoop, finishes with the right hand on the left side, and gets a little push from Josh Smith on the lower half to get the and one to put them up 2 potentially, which would be huge.
And the New York fans here, the faithful, responding with an MVP chant for a guy that's played like one tonight. 42 points for Carmelo Anthony. Knicks leading by 2. It's not so much about the points, it's about the leadership that he's provided tonight.
Well, I like the play call there, Mark. Cleared the left side out. You get him right at the elbow area. Very difficult to double team from there. If you do, he can see it. He can see the whole floor. But he caught that thing, ripped through quick. Didn't allow Atlanta to come with any help. Terrific play by Carmelo Anthony, who's been great all evening long. Here Felton finds him. Felton goes away. And boom, put it on the floor, right to the basket. I don't know about the foul, but nonetheless, he lays it in, and the crowd loves it here in the Garden. We'll see if they can hold on here with 12.5 to go.
Great bounce back game for Carmelo Anthony, who last night in that loss against Philadelphia shot just 9 of 28. Let's switch over to the Hawks, JP. They've got, what, 12.5 seconds to go. Who's your #1 option offensively?
Well, I'd like to go with Teague again. I think he's been terrific on the high pick and roll, but you probably find if you run high pick and roll that they will switch it or get the ball out of his hands. Maybe Josh Smith makes a play as well. We saw him throw a lob to Al Horford earlier. But remember, New York out of timeouts. If Atlanta were to score here, New York has got to go the full length of the floor. Not going to be able to call timeout to advance, so they're going to have to be ready if they do make a basket here.
Atlanta with a 20-second timeout remaining. They break the huddle with Stevenson, Korver, Teague, Smith, and Horford.
I think you zipper cut Teague up to the top of the key, get him the basketball there, and maybe you see a high pick and roll. Spot the shooters. If you can't get to the lane, try to find Korver or Stevenson in the corner for an open look.
Shumpert checks in for defensive purposes for the Knicks. .5 to go. Here's Teague against Belton. Mismatch against Chandler. Smith with 3 seconds for the win. Knicks hold on. How much choice did Josh Smith actually have?
No, that was the right play. I mean, somebody was over in the corner, time running down. I like the play call, good pick and roll. Unfortunately, Smith not able to get it go.
Here's one more look at it. Teague on the drive-by. Melo tipped it. Smith had a good look. He made one earlier, but that one didn't fall, and the Knicks snap Atlanta's 3-game winning streak. New York wins it. Final night of X Games Aspen is coming up next. It's been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For John Barry, Chris Broussard, and our entire ESPN crew, what a night from the world's most famous arena. Right now, we send it to Aspen.